I just got back from 5 days with the family in Cabo and it was awesome. We were in the beach and in the pool and the beach and in the pool and the hotel, the beach. It was chaos. It was all over the place. But what wasn't chaotic was my business. Everything was running in the background and I wasn't being blown up all the time. My phone wasn't going off all the time. I didn't feel the urgency to check emails. I knew things were being handled and I knew things were operating without me really being there because I know how to build systems. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. And this video is going to be for you if you make good money in real estate, but you feel more trapped now than you did when you were flat broke. Or you're working all day and you come home, you don't have the energy to spend with your wife and kids because you're doing everything at all times inside your business. And what we're going to go through today is a very, very simple exercise, a 4-step process on how to build systems and take your business from chaos all the way through to clarity. And in the operator method that I take my clients through, we refer to this part as the machine. So this is a very simple 4-step process. We're going to dump, we're going to decide, we're going to document, and then we're going to delegate. So let's jump right in. So step 1 is dump, and more specifically, the brain dump. This is where we need to think about everything that we're doing in our business and just get it out on paper or a document or wherever you want to brain dump for yourself. Some people like to whiteboard and scribble like I do. If you're more linear and want to use a Word doc, that's cool. But basically what you're going to do is very, very simple. You're just going to take everything that you do in your business throughout the week and just put it all down. Just list it. Big, small, middle, important stuff, not important stuff. Every single thing that you do in your business, you're just going to take some time and just jot these down, write them down, dump out everything. And I mean everything. Don't leave things out because you're like, this is just a small thing that I have to do. I mean everything. So you want to make sure that by the end of this particular step, you have everything in your business on a sheet of paper in front of you so you can see it all. Now, the best way to do this is honestly to take time. So if you want to pause this video and just go through this process, take 5-10 minutes and just dump it all down. The really long way that you can do this is to track your time for like 2 to 3 weeks. And then you'll really have a list of absolutely everything you're doing, which is great. But if you want results right now, just brain dump it out. And more might come to you later on. That's fine, you can throw it in there. But the part of this that's most important is to get this out on paper. So this is step number 1, dump. Driving it all into a document. I have a list of everything that's going on in my business, everything from marketing to sales to fulfillment, and it's all there in front of me. The next step, moving on, is to then go to decide. And decide is a great process and it really helps to help you understand why you're doing things, why you should be doing different things, and what things you really shouldn't be doing. And you've probably seen me do this before if you're coming back to the channel again. It's the matrix. And in the matrix, there are 4 quadrants here. And the first one is do. The first one is decide. The next one is delegate. And the next one is delete. So these are based into what's called the Eisenhower Matrix. And in the Eisenhower Matrix, we look at this in terms of this matrix. And on the left-hand side here, we look at this as things that are important and not important. And on the top here, is it urgent or is it not urgent? So let's take a little bit of time here breaking this down. Really, really key to understand each of these quadrants and exactly what should be going into them. So let's start off by looking at box number 1, do. What does this mean? The tasks inside here. These tasks are urgent, meaning this needs to be done like in the next 12 hours, 24 hours, or like 1 hour. This needs to be done right now. It's very, very important and urgent for my business that this has to be done. As well as that, it's important. It's important that I do it. This is really, really important that I'm the one who takes this on and does this particular task. So this might be calling a listing agent and negotiating over inspection because the deadline's coming up in 2 hours and your clients are freaking out. That's something that's urgent, needs to be done. We got a 2-hour deadline, and it's important because we need this thing to go because our business depends on our closings, and so do our clients. Okay, box number 2 is decide. Now, I've referred to this in the past as the money box. I'll tell you why. This is decide because the things in this box are important to the business, meaning like these really need to be done for the growth of the business. Like, we're going to build the business and move it forward by doing these things, but there's no sense of urgency. I don't have to do this today. I don't have to do it tomorrow. Don't even have to do it next week. It's not urgent because these are typically business building activities which are bigger, which could be something like your marketing plan or building out a strategy for higher closing rates at open houses. Something that's bigger in the business, which is actually to do with your marketing, sales, or fulfillment, that you know, I need to figure out this process and build it out, because if I do that, my business can grow by XYZ in the future. Now, that's a really important topic. We really have to grasp these things in our business if we want to keep on moving forward, building a bigger business and making more profit every single year over year. But because we're bogged down in the woods, because we don't think about this, it really isn't urgent. It's not that nothing's going to go on fire if we don't do it, all right? The business isn't going to burn down if we don't do it. But that's what makes it the money box, because most agents typically will not address these things until they absolutely have to, until they move from box number 2 to box number 1. Because it's like, oh, I've got an open house coming up tomorrow and I haven't even thought about a strategy for it, right? Most agents put these things off. And they'll just be like, I'll get to that eventually. I know I need to, create social media calendars, or I know I need to hire a video editor, or I know, but I'll get to it. And because of these excuses, and because we're not prepared to take action on these things and sequentially do them in order, they don't get done. And then what happens? Our business just kind of stays stale, but you're still putting out all the fires all the time because we're not building. So that's box number 2. And the last piece on box number 2, guys, is remember, these are important. You might not notice it or see it as important, but these are important. If you think about your business, the importance of business growth is there. You have to make sure that you decide this is important, but it's not urgent. Okay, let's move on to box number 3, delegate. So these are things that are urgent. These are things that need to be done. They have to be done in 24 hours or this week. There's an urgency on them. There's a deadline on them that they have to be done by, but it's not important that you do them. This box here is the one that people struggle the most with, because they think that they're working in this box right here. I'm doing it, it's urgent, it's important, but really it's not. It's not that important. You just think it is because your priorities aren't quite there yet, and this exercise is going to truly help you do that. So we want to think about things. Now, what could this be? This could be editing your own videos. This could be doing your own paperwork, right? If you don't have a TC and you're just writing all your contracts yourself, all your addendums, all this stuff, if you're doing that, is it urgent these things get done for the client, for the contract? Yeah. Is it important that you actually sit there and type out the contracts? No. So think about it in that way. Urgent, needs to be done for your business to grow, but not important that you do it. And then the last one here is delete. These are things that are not urgent for your business and they're not important for you to be doing. You need to delete them. And what I don't mean like delete them forever, just get them away, get them off your plate, put it in like a parking lot and come back to it later. So that's how the quadrant works. So what you want to do is you want to start to take these tasks and look at, okay, what box do these go into? So I might look at the delegate box and I might be going through all these tasks like, okay, this is something that's urgent, but it's not important for me to do. So is this. And all you're going to do is start to label the tasks and everything you do in your business. Now, take your time over this. Don't rush through it, but you want to make sure that you're deciding that the right things are going into the right places. Because once you can really figure this out, you'll start to see that from the tasks that you were looking at, and you're like, oh my gosh, I have like 40 things I have to do all the time, and I'm always doing this stuff in my business. Really now, if we look at it, you might figure out, actually, I've got 3, 4, 5, 6 things that I should be doing right now. I've got 2, 3, 4 things that I need to be working on to grow the business, and the rest of it can either be delegated or deleted. This is the first piece to get you into clarity about what's going on. And it's the second step in the process to get towards how we build out systems. All right, so we have come through our brain dump. We have now put them into the matrix to decide if they're urgent, not urgent, important, not important. Now what do we do? So the next piece of this is to go to document. A lot of people have a tendency to skip this part and they'll go straight to step 4. Because step 4 is delegate, when you start to get things off your plate. That's really exciting and it's awesome and it's sexy and it's amazing. Maybe you hire a VA or maybe you have new AI programs you send them to, or you get a TC on board. Awesome, that's the end goal. But if you miss this third piece out, it's going to be absolute chaos to delegate things and get them done in your business the way that you want them and the way that you expect them to be done. So step number 3 is to document. And when you document, what that means is we're going to take each of these tasks here and we're going to document how those tasks are done. How exactly am I doing these tasks? What are the step-by-step pieces that I have to do to take these on? And the way you want to do this systematically is to start with the ones that are in the delegate quadrant, because that's the ones that we're going to start getting off our plate. And what we're going to do is we're going to build out SOPs for each of these things. So how do we do this? I'm going to walk you through exactly step by step the best way to create SOPs, which is super pain-free and really, really easy. What I use is a tool called Loom. And Loom is a screen recording software. I absolutely love it. I use this for a ton of things, from everything from virtual showings to tutorials to recordings and SOPs. So here's what you do. Once you've got the thing that you want to figure out doing, you're going to just record your screen share of you doing this particular thing. And this is really easy. You can either do it in 2 ways. You can make a list and then just go through each of them and record yourself doing them, or just remember to record yourself all day. So if you're on your computer about to do a task, just hit record, talk through it as you're going, and you'll be good to go. So with this one, this was when we were doing for Zoom webinars. So this is how to set up a webinar on Zoom, because we do a bunch of them, different tutorials, different webinars that we put on. And before this, I was the one who was creating them. I was putting them together. I was doing everything involved in this side of things. So all I'm doing here is clicking through Zoom, walking through it, and showing someone exactly what to do and how to set it up the way that I want it to be done. And this is it. So you've got all the way, we come through the video here. This is like, here's how you get a title, ChatGPT, all this stuff. Every single piece of the puzzle, every single step has to be documented in this video. Because now I've got complete clarity of how to do that thing over and over again, documented exactly the way that I would do it. And then from there, very, very simple. In Loom, you can come over here and go to transcript. And you click on transcript, it shows you the entire transcript of what you've been saying. And we just copy that and we come over here and we go into ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever you want to use. So it's very, very simple to prompt this. All you're going to do is say something like this. I want you to build out an SOP document for this process. Here is the transcript from me sharing it on video. So let me go back in there and copy it again. Then I'm just going to paste the whole thing in. I'm going to hit enter and I'm going to let it rip. And you're going to see the magic of how well this works. So it's coming through, it's saying title, here's what the title is. You can upload a date. Tools required. So you're going to need Zoom, you're going to need a webinar license enabled, you're going to need a title description, you're going to need an email address for the host. All right, step-by-step instructions. Log into Zoom, click here. Navigate to webinars, configure it, and it's given every single step of exactly what they need to do to get this process done. Post scheduling tasks, grab the link, check the invitation email, add to Google Calendar, optional checks, and then it's got some notes as well. And then from there, the last piece we do, and if you want to beef this up at all, you can absolutely chat with the GPT and get it to do it. But honestly, this is something very, very simple and it does a great job of it every single time. And the next thing I do here is open up a document and I'll just paste it right in there. But I add one more thing, because when you're training people on it, if you're like me, you're a visual learner. I don't know what you're like, but if I just see an outline, a document, and start reading it, it's harder for me to take in. If I visually see something, I get it really quickly. So all we're going to do is we're going to come up here and copy the Loom link. And all you're going to do is come here and say, watch training video here. and then I will hit this, insert a link, paste the Loom link, boom. So now they've got the process, they've got the SOP, but they also have the training video in here, which makes it super dialed in. There's no way they can make mistakes. It's absolutely dialed in, and it's put into perfection to figure this out. So very, very simple so far, right? When we look at this, all we've done so far is we've dumped out everything that we do. We've figured out what quadrant for it to go in. Now we've taken it and documented it into an SOP with detailed tasks and a video in there explaining everything. So we're good to go. Now we've done this. And like I said, start with the things that you're going to delegate, because you're probably going to offload those quicker than you would everything else. But don't skip this very, very important step. I don't care which quadrant it falls in. Well, honestly, apart from the ones that we're going to delete, you can just get rid of those out of your business, right? Get rid of those. But I don't care which quadrant it falls in. If it's do, decide, or delegate, you want to create SOPs for everything. This is how you build a business that runs itself. This is how you build systems. Because if you have it for everything, you never know what the next thing that you're going to leverage and outsource is going to be. And if you have to train it from scratch and try and think about how you do it all over again, it's just chaotic and it's not time effective. So start with the delegate ones for SOPs, then move on to the ones that you do urgently, and then start to move on to the non-urgent ones. But if you can get this, if you decide to start building a team, or if you start to build a little workforce, this is how you're going to be able to systemize your business very, very effectively. Okay, so let's get to the last step here, which is delegate, my favorite. So we're going to delegate. Now, there's a lot of different kind of options and ways that you can think about doing this. When it comes to delegate, most people think about VAs, which is great. Like I do too. I've got a team of VAs, they're phenomenal. But there's multiple ways you can do it. But let's think about the people who might be involved. You've got VAs, you've got TC, you've got agents, whether that be in your office or a buddy system that we'll talk about in just a minute here. You've also got, I don't know how to draw a robot, maybe like that. You've also got AI, and you've also got automation. So tools like Zapier, stuff like that. That's like a lightning bolt here. So these are all the different kind of ways that I delegate things. I have VAs, I have TCs, I have agents, AI, automations, all the good stuff. So what you would do is then really just start to think about, okay, which of these tasks that I'm going to start with in Delegate are going to go, and who would I want them to go to? So for instance, if it was something like a video editor, then hey, we're going to look and bring that to a VA. If it was maybe social media management, yeah, let's bring a VA in for that as well. Maybe it's obviously your contracts, then yeah, we want to bring that into a TC. Listing descriptions, bring that to a TC. You can see where I'm going here, but we have to start to figure out not just that we want to delegate something, but who it's going to go to, because the more arrows that you draw to one particular person, you know that that's the next person you have to bring into your team. You know that, okay, I've got so many things that I need a TC for, okay, go and hire that TC. If it's, I've got so many things that I need a marketing manager for, hire a VA to take on that for you. If it's something that you need a social media manager for, again, hire that in. Well, what about if it's the do's, right? Because like I said, my goal for this is for you to build a system where you can go and take a vacation with your family and not have to be on your phone 24/7. So what do you do with the tasks that are urgent and important, which are typically contract ones? You know, active clients who are either looking at homes, listing their home, in contract right now, about to close. Like, how do you do this? How do you time this to figure it all out? This is where I would use an agent. So two of my agents on my team do this really, really well, Matt and Alex. They do this in a phenomenal way. They have a kind of partnership agreement where it's like, hey, if you go out of town, I take on your workload. If I go out of town, you take on my workload. And obviously, you know, it's a good chunk of work to take on for an extra week, but they have that agreement, meaning that they can get out, get away with their family and enjoy their life, enjoy their time without having to stress it. So they're taking the dues and bringing that down here, and down here. Now, you know what it's like. Some clients are really super easy. Some clients are difficult. So All they do is they'll sit down like a week out, 5 days out from the trip and be like, okay, here are the different, contracts we got going on. Here's what you need to know. Here's what you need to know. Here's what you need to know. Then from there, they'll connect the clients to the agent in either a 3-way text thread, or they might sit down and meet with them, whatever's applicable to you, and make sure they know, hey, I'm going out of town with my family for 5 days. This is my business partner, Alex. He's going to take care of everything. We work exactly the same way, and he's going to make sure that you are good to go. Do you have any questions for me before I leave? Let me know right now, or let me know in the next 2 days, and we can make sure that you're good and comfortable and ready to go. And this is one thing when I coach this, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know. I don't trust anyone to do what I do. I'll just remind you, I've said it one time, I'll say it 1,000 times. You're not a special unicorn. You're awesome. Like, you're awesome, but you're not a unicorn. You're not one of a kind. There is someone who can replicate what you do at least to 80%. And 80% done is 100% awesome. If you can get time away with your family and let someone run your business at 80% for 5 days, a week, 10 days, like, that is awesome, because that's time you're never going to get back with the people that you love. So lean on them and do that with them. And the name of the game here is communication. You just want to make sure that you're completely dialed in with communication with their clients. You know exactly how that's going to work. You would know that Alex knows exactly how to communicate with them. It's an agent you trust, an agent you know, and likewise, vice versa. When he leaves town, you're the same way. And that's how we dial things like that in. Now from there, you've obviously got AI, which we can delegate a lot of things to. We can automate a lot of different things, content creation, all sorts of different things there. And then automation could be email responders, could be a lot of different moving pieces in there. But this is how we build systems. This is the whole playbook. There is no, hidden crazy things that you have to start figuring out. This is it, it's 4 steps. Dump, decide, delegate, and document. If you start to do this with your business and get your tasks down to a linear SOP and know who to give them to and when to give them, that's it. You've systemized your business. That's the game. That's how you do it all. So here's the choice, guys. You can continue to be a high-paid employee of your own business, or you can choose to run it like a CEO and create freedom for yourself so that you can live your life while the thing scales. Everything right now is up here. It's all in your head. Up here you have systems that are waiting to be built. There are people out there waiting to be part of your team. And this means that all you have to do is go through the process, step into it, and claim that stuff. So your next step is to go in and start brain dumping. Brain dump what's going on in your business, and comment below what's the first task that you're going to start delegating out, that you've taken through the process and you're going to give it away. I'd love to hear wins of what you're going to get off your plate. If you go through all this and you still feel stuck, there's a link below here if you want to find out more about the operator method, which is what I take realtors through step by step in a 3-part process to help them reclaim their life through building a business that scales. It's application only, but you can click that link below, find out more about it, and if it's a good fit, awesome. If not, keep watching the next videos that come up. But whatever you do, start the brain dump, start the process, build the system, and free up your time so you can go and live your life and go to Cabo for 5 days and drink virgin pina coladas and eat all the crazy food you want, go to the beach, the pool, and have exhausted kids by the end of the day, and they sleep so well at night. Until the next one, we'll see you.